Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Oh my goodness, friends. Have I missed you? It's been over a month since I've recorded a podcast episode just because I was prepping for this Madrid trip, but I miss chatting with you. How are you? We are on week 3 of our month in Madrid. I'm here with my kids to study Spanish and just to enjoy ourselves and learn about the world as we travel. And I have so many insights and thoughts that I want to share with you that I've been writing down. But the one I want to talk to you about today is just this thing I've been thinking about on where we need to give ourselves more time as women. I've been thinking about this because the last time we traveled was 2 years ago, and we went to Ireland for 10 days. It was an incredible trip. I actually did a podcast interview on it and interviewed my friend and travel agent, Stephanie. So I'll tag that in the show notes if you want to hear our debrief from our time in Ireland. It was magic. But it's so interesting because the 10 days I did for travel in Ireland versus the month that we're here in Madrid, I feel like the month took so much less planning and has been way less stressful in so many ways because we're just in mainly one city for an entire month. We did take 2 small weekend trips on the train, but outside of that, we're in Madrid the entire time. And I've just been thinking about how, even for me, I'm not like a big traveler, but this has just been so beautiful and blissful. And of course, we've had our moments. I'm going to share those. Adventure. I call them adventures. I tell my kids we're either going to have a good time or we'll have adventures and memories to tell. I mean, anytime you travel with kids or stay home with kids, it's an adventure, right? But anyway, I've just been thinking about how this reminds me about in my business. When I first started my business, I had 2 small kids and I was really working about 10 hours a week and was really trying to work during their naps and I would wake up early, I would stay up late, right? Which I totally get that we have to do that sometimes for a chapter. But I remember when I gave myself permission to, I put my son in, preschool for a few hours a week. And then eventually I got a babysitter for like 5 hours a week. And I was so worried about, for me, like, oh, I don't want to spend time away from my kids, or I don't want to overwork, right? Because I think when we come from a corporate American culture, we're so burnt out and we're so used to overworking and being really kind of abused in the workplace that we're kind of scared to work in our business. But we forget that our business is different because we're our own boss and we can have our own policies and we can be kind to ourselves and we don't have to work with people that disrespect us. And so I think we're so afraid to actually work in our business that we fall for these traps online, like these quote passive income businesses or businesses where people don't want to work at all. Those honestly are the businesses where you have to work all the time. Really be aware of anyone that's marketing here's a business where you don't have to work, right? Which is, I hate the scale your business with group programs and you'll never have to work a day. Don't get me wrong. I love group programs. I love group coaching, but it also takes work, And anyway, I digress. When I gave myself permission, hold on. I had to wait for the truck to stop backing up and beeping outside of my window, but I don't want to close my balcony windows because the view is just magical. I wish you could be sitting with me on the couch right now. The warm Madrid air. We didn't start in this Airbnb. That's another story for another day. But anyway, we ended up in the most magical Airbnb. I'll probably start crying if I talk about it. Just the most beautiful, stereotypical windows going out into the city. And I just cannot stand to close my windows because it's just so beautiful. But anyway, when I gave myself permission in my business to work more hours, I actually started feeling better and more spacious instead of like, oh, I hope my baby naps. And then if my baby doesn't nap, I'm going to be mad at my baby. And like, not outwardly, but like, I'm going to give myself more time than I think that I need. And it reminds me so much of this trip. Like, why not wait and give ourselves more time so we can feel good? I think we're like, I want to work 3 hours a week, but then those 3 hours are miserable. And right, instead of like, no, that's why I love the 3-day work week. I think people hear that and they're like, 3 days a week, that's like not small enough, right? But number one, when you love what you do, then you're spending your life doing what you love. So it's not a problem to work. Number two, when you give yourself the 3 full days, and when I say that, usually I work about 6 hours a day, 3 days a week, right? Sometimes it's a little bit more. But there's something about the spaciousness, right? I remember when I was working in my day job, 22 years old, around that age, right? Like I remember one time I had hurt my foot or my knee or something, and I was walking slowly across the sidewalk and someone pulled me over and was like, "Are you okay?" Not because I was limping, because I was walking slow. Because I sped walked everywhere. I didn't even have kids at this point. I have no excuse. I was just like panicking all the time. And I think we bring the same culture to our business where we're literally like panicking. There's no bear chasing us, right? Like 3 days a week gives you the spaciousness to like have a pee break between calls. I do stack my calls back to back on some days just because I prefer like when I'm in the zone. But you know what I mean? Like to be able to take our time when we record a podcast episode. I think it's not just the amount of hours you work, but I think it's the quality of the work that you work in your business. It's why I've been in business for 10 years. Because I've really not just focused on like, how do I cut my business down to be the most efficient scaled thing in the whole world? Yes, I've grown my income almost every single year, year over year for the last 10 years. But I probably could have grown it even more, honestly. And I probably could have worked even fewer hours doing it. But you know what? I probably would have been miserable. And you know what happens when you're miserable? You find a reason to blow up your business and you quit, right? So I really think the sustainable approach is not just like how few hours can I work? How scaled can I make my business? But like, how can I really enjoy my time? And I think part of this conversation is working more hours, which sounds wild to say, right? Because you're probably thinking like, no, I work 50, 60 hours a week in my day job. Why would I want to work a lot of hours in my business, right? I'm not saying a lot, like 40 hours a week, though there have been some chapters where I have done that in my business, right? But what I'm saying is really budgeting 3 full days. Or if like me, you're building your business on the side of your day job, whatever that means for you. Like for me, I really gave myself 2 full hours every morning before I started my day job to work. Right? A lot of you guys are giving yourself like 15 minutes before your day job starts. And then you're like, oh, why can't I get anything done? Right? And then you're stressed and then you're trying to multitasking. For me, we need to do as few as possible, little as possible as women. It's an absolute recipe for stress, right? Versus like, no, actually, it's going to take me a full hour to do these 4 things. So I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to give myself that hour so I can chill and enjoy it and have the content be high quality. And like, I think, I know it's not easy. I know you're balancing a lot, but I think the truth is we need more time. And so that's really why, because, okay, so let me back to Madrid, okay? What I noticed is I was really avoiding, so I traveled internationally with my kids. We went to Ireland. And then after that, we had such a great time that I told myself, you know what? I think I want to do this once a year. Well, my kids are this age. They're 9 and 11 right now. And it really feels like this beautiful window where there were like amazing travelers, right? Like they're in language school a few blocks away from me. Sometimes I'm going to language school. Sometimes they're just going on their own. So I can be able to like go to the museum for 4 hours without them not liking that. What they love to do is they love to go to cafes and eat croissants. They love going to playgrounds, right? Like they love their things, right? Anyway, after Ireland, I told myself, okay, they're at an age where they're great at traveling, right? It's a great age to travel. And for me, I feel it's a great age to travel too, because while I will love to keep traveling, I feel like the older I get, it's going to be harder to travel. This is why I do not get the like, wait till you retire to travel thing, because my feet are up. My feet ache right now. You guys, I am in good shape. I am huffing and puffing. Our apartment's on the 5th floor. I huff and puff up the stairs. My feet are aching. Okay. Like, And when I went to Mexico City, I got food poisoning. I was vomiting, right? Like, traveling is not for the faint of heart, okay? I feel it takes youth to travel. Maybe some of you are more brave than me, but I feel like when I am, I don't know, in my 70s, I don't know that I'm going to want to travel. I'm pretty content with my cross stitch now. So I probably will still be cross stitching. But anyway, I told myself after Ireland, I think I want to travel once a year internationally with my kids, right? And then I noticed I wasn't doing that, right? I think, has it been 3 years now? Maybe it's been 3 years, 2023. I think it might have been 3 years now since we went. So about 1 year ago, I realized like, okay, I have this intention where I want to take my kids international once a year because I feel it's one of the most beautiful tools for teaching kids, number one, resilience and problem solving, but also like the world is really big and don't be closed-minded. And there are people that live differently than you and like, don't be rude, like have good manners, be a kind global citizen. I just think this is such an important lesson that you can show. And I'm grateful to have the flexibility with my business time-wise and money-wise to be able to do it, right? So I'm like, okay, it's just me and my courage and my travel anxiety. I hate airplanes. So I'm like, I'm going to do this once a year. And then I noticed I wasn't doing it. I wasn't booking the trip. I was finding excuses, right? We went on a Disney cruise. That was great, but that was not my intention. And then I realized, okay, what is it about international travel that is feeling like, bleh, you know? And it really was this feel of like, well, I loved Ireland. It felt like a lot, and I didn't even do all the planning myself. I don't even have a reason to complain, right? But like, it was just very busy. It was very busy and very full. And for me, I have a very busy and full life at home in San Diego. That's why I'm so obsessive about my routine, because it really keeps me in a beautiful flow and in a lot of happiness to have the same workout classes that I go to have the same dance classes that I go to have the same friends that I hang out. Like, I'm a simple girl, right? And I realized like, oh, what if I did a version of my happy, boring dream life, but in another city? That started to sound so amazing. Like, I'm not a huge museum girl, though I will say there's a museum here that I absolutely fell in love with and may have converted me to being a museum girl. But at the time, I'm like, I'm not really super into like museums. Like, I just want to live my life over there. And so I realized like, oh my God, like I could do that. Like, my kids are off school for 6 weeks in the summer. And I was like, I think I can make this happen. And so then it started becoming appealing. And you know what it was, the difference? I think it was that I had the time. It wasn't like you have to see 19 things and you have 7 days to do it, right? Not only did I elongate my trip, but I actually also lowered the expectations for what I was going to do. Honestly, coming here, I only plan to go to one museum. Some of my girlfriends are visiting Madrid at the same time, which is amazing. So we got to go to a museum together. And I've actually done more museum and tour-ish things since I've been here than I thought I would. But when I was planning, I told myself, like, you don't have to do any of that. Like, you can just go live in the city. You can cook dinner with your kids. You can go play at parks, right? And suddenly I started getting very excited because I had more of a permission to give myself more space, a month. And that just felt so good, right? And I think, yes, we're productive women. But I, like you, am guilty of creating this to-do list and then being like, I have to get it done in this short amount of time. And then we subconsciously know we can't get it done. So we procrastinate and then we don't do any of it. And then we're like, why can I not even start on this launch project, my taxes, whatever it is? Because the list is so big and the amount of time we're giving ourselves is so small that we're like, I just want to do it in one fell swoop. No, we can't get anything done. Like, segment it up, right? Like, anyway, I just been thinking so much about business and in life, and we just need more time. Like, we need more spaciousness. And I think we're afraid to do that. But I think it actually ends up saving us time, money, stress, energy, right? Like, why do we cut things short? Why do we make our travel short? Because we need to save money, right? Like, or maybe we don't have the time off work, right? Why do we want to make our business hours short? Because we're like, oh, I'm going to be miserable when I'm working, right? But I really think that over time, we end up like, yes, in some ways, I feel that it was cheaper to stay longer, because I'm looking to rent a place for a month, an Airbnb versus a hotel for a few nights, right? Like, of course, it's not going to be an even exchange, but I do feel like in general, when we give ourselves the time it actually takes to do something, and not, again, not at hustle speed, but at like normal human speed, right? Life and business and everything gets so much more easier and profitable, right? So I want you to think about this. What's something in your life or your business that maybe you've been procrastinating or putting off or has been left undone? And then I just want you to honestly ask yourself if you've been setting yourself up for success. Because yes, it could be a mindset block. Like maybe there's a fear around doing that thing. Like maybe you feel guilty or ashamed that you haven't done it before yet. Or maybe once that thing gets done, then you're like, ooh, then I actually have to take action. I'm scared to take action. Like it might be a mindset thing, sure. But I think a lot of times it's just really practically not giving ourselves enough time to spaciously complete the task. And for me, I try to ask myself, like, how do I really enjoy the process of this? Like right now, I don't love Facebook ads, but I run light ads. And it's just something I've decided I want to keep playing with my business for myself, but also so that I have knowledge, because some of my clients have much bigger businesses and course-based businesses. And I like to be in the know of Facebook ads. It just feels like a useful skill for me. And so when I run my Facebook ads, I have a little chart and I go into the chart and it has cute emojis in it and the columns have pretty colors. And I'm enjoying my time in the chart while I'm doing the Facebook ads, right? Like while I'm doing my client calls, I have a little foot massager under my desk that I run sometimes, right? Like you bet I light my candles. I have my green tea, right? Like let's stop trying to make everything, I think it's very American, right? To make everything so efficient, right? Like you probably know the dining culture in Spain is like you sit, like I was out in the courtyard and they have an amazing playground right next to a restaurant. So my kids were playing at the playground right next to the restaurant where I could see them. And so I asked for the check and the waiter was like, no, please stay longer. Let me bring you some tea. And I stayed for like another hour just hanging out there. And the culture is like, you have to like bug the waiter for the check. Like they're not bringing it to you, right? I think there's just a relaxation culture. And I just think like it decreases the efficiency. Sure. Right. People pick on Spain for not being very efficient. And maybe if I lived here, I would complain about that too. But I do think with efficiency, you lose enjoyment. And what happens when you stop enjoying either your vacation or your business? I'll tell you like I said, when you stop enjoying your business, you subconsciously will shut it down. You will find reasons to pick on it, to hate it, and to close it down, which is really sad because I think a business is the ultimate way for heart-centered women to make a lot of money without someone taking the overhead. For me, when I was a therapist working for an institution, I was doing really heart-centered work, but they were taking the overhead on it, right? Like, because they were doing the marketing and they were taking the liability and risk. Like, I think it's just being able to see that enjoyment is a success metric, right? Your pleasure, you not being super efficient all the time in your business. All the time I make decisions in my business where I'm like, actually, that cost me money, right? I was having some tech issues, and so I was a little bit late to a client call. And so I apologized to the client and I added another 15. I was like 3 minutes late, but I added 15 minutes onto her next session time, right? Like, because to me, business is about my clients having a good experience and me having a good experience, because that's what's going to make me money for the long run as a heart-centered entrepreneur, right? And so I think it's just really looking at how we see efficiency and questioning it and being like, is it the best way? Is that the most profitable way? Actually, no, I don't think it is, right? And just giving yourself permission to take more time, right? Take more time. So again, practically for me, my businesses looked like being like, I think I will officially give myself 3 days a week, 6 hours a day, right? And be like that is how long it takes to see my clients, record my podcast, do my social media, meet with my team members, do the back end of my finances, right? Like it just takes time, and it's okay. It's okay that it takes time. There's no problem doing it if you love the work that you do. And if you're like, ugh, I don't want to work 3 days a week, I would really encourage you to change your business model. What I love most about my clients in 3-Day Entrepreneur is I have helped some of my clients with done for you businesses change to a coaching model. I have helped some of my clients with coaching models change to a done for you business, because it's not about what's like right or wrong. It's about like what works best with your personality. Number one, do you like people? Do you want to sit on your couch all day and work behind the scenes? Do you like spreadsheets and charts? Do you like talking to people who have problems, right? Like, again, I just think it's so important to think through your pleasure, your enjoyment. And I think as heart-centered women, we're taught that our needs don't matter. And this is just really unfortunate in business, because what we end up doing is we end up sabotaging our business and creating something that we shut down. And the world does not need your business to shut down. The world needs more heart-centered women doing their thing. We don't need other people profiting off us and dictating our values in a corporation, right? When I worked for a corporation, like, they were anti-LGBTQ, they were anti a lot of things that I am pro, right? And I just think there's such a value to heart-centered women having their own business, but it still takes time. It still takes effort. It still takes time. So give yourself, like, that's my reminder, is like, are you giving yourself enough time? And not just time, but like time where you have undivided attention. So for me, I know that some of my activities, I can like multitask them with my kids and my business, but most things, like when I record my podcast, like when I take client calls, I need quiet. Like, so for me, when my kids were little, I would go work in coffee shops. You're like, well, that's not quiet. Well, it's quieter than a house of kids, right? Like, I would leave my house all the time. Now for me, I have my kids at school. They're school age, right? But I think it's like knowing that when we have that undivided attention, we're actually so efficient and so effective, but it still takes time. So can you give yourself enough time? And only you can determine that. One of my favorite things to do with my clients is helping them create their dream schedule, right? I have a freebie where I can give you my 3-day work week template. So I will link that in the show notes if you'd like to design your 3-day work week that way. But only you can dictate what this looks like. Maybe for you, it's 5 part-time days. Maybe for you, it's 2 more full days. But it's deciding, not for forever. I'm a big fan of like deciding in different chapters. In that freebie, I also show you like the different work schedules that I've had over the years to practically show you. But really committing to like, no, this is what I'm going to work. I'm going to work 8 to noon, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever. And I'm going to really close my door, and I'm going to light my candles, and I'm going to let myself work at a reasonable pace. Okay? If you had or have had an employee, I want you to think about, if someone was working for you, what pace would you expect them to work at? For me, I have 3 amazing team members. I don't expect them to work at turbo speed. Number 1, that's rude. Number 2, you're going to make mistakes. You're actually not going to be the most efficient, right? So I want you to be a nice boss to yourself, and I want you to see if you can work a little slower, stay focused, right? Get yourself back on task. But give yourself a little bit more time and see the results. See that the quality of your work increases. See that you're not going to have to re-record that reel 17 times because the first take was great because you were chilled, right? See that your clients are converting higher because when you're sending them a voice memo to follow up on the sale, you're sounding really positive and light. You're not sounding like there's like your butt is on fire, right? Really try this. What if you try this for a chapter, for a quarter? What if you're like, this is my quarter, my word of the year is slow. Okay, so this is on point for me. But what if you give yourself permission to give yourself some more time in your business and see if you end up making more money, if you end up actually saving time, being more efficient, and loving your life and business more? Just try it. Just try it. Try it. Let me know. Email me and tell me if you're going to try this. I would love to see. And maybe for you, maybe you're like me, and see what other areas of your life you can apply this to. Maybe you apply it to your next vacation. Maybe instead of going somewhere for 4 days, you go there for 10 days, right? Or even if you're like, Anna, I have a day job, I have a whatever, even if you're only traveling for 3 days, what if you didn't hustle yourself those 3 days? Do you know what I mean? Right? Like maybe you're like, Anna, I only have 5 vacation days, but what if instead of going to 17 cities in 5 days, you just like me stayed in 1 city for 5 days? Maybe instead of trying to see 572 museums, you just saw 1 thing a day. And then you let the day unfold. Again, I think we do this like black or white thing where we're like, I'm either going to plan everything or I'm going to plan nothing. right? Like, what if you just plan a little bit? Like, whatever that version of spaciousness looks like for you, right? Again, when my babies were babies, this for me looked like I would rent a hotel and do CEO days. I don't have to do those as much because my house is kind of like a nice quiet hotel for me now every single day, right? Like when my kids are in school. But I would do a CEO day at a hotel. I would rent the hotel for the day and I would stay there for 4 hours. I would get so much done. You guys can't even believe it, right? I have a freebie also called CEO Day that can help with this. But I think it's just like, yes, we're efficient. Yes, we're smart, but we still need time and we still need space and we deserve the space. And like, that's the thought I didn't finish is like, I don't think we were taught as women that our pleasure, our happiness is a success metric, right? Like your happiness, your rest makes you so much money because that's your creative juice. Like that's your spark. Like you are the magic in your business. You are the inspiration. That's where the genius comes from, especially as AI gets bigger and bigger. Like I just feel like we have to protect our creative energy. And I feel that we do this by slowing down. Okay, sending you a big hug. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free and I cannot wait to see you in there.